Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press morning podcast for September 22, 2025. I'm your anchor, Walter. Today, we're covering several significant developments from around the world. Firstly, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has expressed his willingness to engage in talks with the United States, but only if Washington drops its demand for denuclearization. This comes as South Korea's president throws his support behind a possible deal on freezing the North's nuclear program. In other news, thousands of people have taken to the streets in Brazil to protest against efforts by lawmakers to avoid legal consequences for themselves and former President Jair Bolsonaro. Meanwhile, in Japan, there's a growing fascination with the works of Osamu Dazai, a renowned author known for his melancholic writings. Additionally, Europe is experiencing significant disruptions to air travel due to a cyber attack on a key air traffic control system. And Disney has sparked controversy by suspending late-night host Jimmy Kimmel over comments he made about former President Donald Trump. In a historic move, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia have announced their formal recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state. This decision comes amid escalating tensions in the Middle East and growing international pressure to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Israeli officials have expressed strong opposition, arguing that the move undermines efforts to reach a peaceful resolution through negotiations. We'll be exploring these stories in more depth throughout the day, with analysis from our team of experts. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. We'll be back with more news and updates after this break. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and shall know what's right now. Here's a brief summary of the top stories we've been following. We're seeing ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Russia, with reports of attacks on civilians in both countries. The situation remains volatile, and we urge all parties involved to prioritize the safety and well-being of civilians. In Brazil, tens of thousands of people took to the streets to protest a proposed amnesty bill that could grant impunity to former President Jair Bolsonaro and his allies. The protests were largely peaceful, with demonstrators waving Brazilian flags and holding signs that read, "No amnesty and democracy. Yes, coup num." The international community is watching the situation in Brazil closely, with many expressing concern about the potential implications of an amnesty for Bolsonaro. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. We'll be back with more news after this break. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we discussed how top-tier companies like Pfizer, MasterCard, and Visa are making headlines with their impressive dividend yields and growth stories. These pharmaceutical and digital payment giants offer attractive options for investors seeking passive income, with Pfizer boasting a 12-year dividend growth history and MasterCard increasing its payouts to shareholders for 10 consecutive years. Secondly, we highlighted the appeal of high-yield stocks in the energy sector, including Enterprise Products Partners, Energy Transfer, and Clearway Energy. These companies offer attractive yields and growth potential driven by resilient demand for energy infrastructure and a growing focus on clean energy. Lastly, we touched on the importance of considering overall financial health, competitive position, and growth prospects when investing in dividend-paying stocks. We recommend a balanced approach, weighing both the benefits and risks associated with each stock. That's all for today's summary. For more in-depth analysis and exclusive insights, subscribe to our daily newsletter and stay informed about the latest developments in the world of finance. We'll see you in the next edition of the AI Daily Press. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, in the world of space exploration, NASA's latest mission has made a groundbreaking discovery on Mars, revealing evidence of ancient rivers and lakes that once flowed on the red planet. This finding has major implications for our understanding of Martian geology and the potential for life beyond Earth. Secondly, in the realm of astrophysics, scientists have detected a massive black hole residing in the early universe, which is growing at an alarming rate. This discovery challenges our current understanding of black hole formation and evolution, and it's a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about the cosmos. Lastly, in the world of finance, we've seen a surge in foreign investors selling, leading to a notable impact on the market. Meanwhile, this month has also witnessed a record number of initial public offerings, with many small and mid-sized companies seizing the opportunity to raise capital and list their shares. These two trends are interconnected and influenced by broader market dynamics, emphasizing the importance of staying adaptable and responsive to changing conditions. That's all for today's summary. Tune into our full reports for more in-depth analysis and expert commentary on these and other stories. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to bringing you more updates and insights in our future podcasts. Until next time, stay informed and stay ahead of the curve. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm Howard, your host for today's update. We've got an exciting rundown for you this morning as the MLB playoff picture continues to take shape. Let me give you a brief summary of the latest developments. First off, the Toronto Blue Jays have become the first team in the American League to clinch a playoff berth, following their 8-2 win over the Kansas City Royals on Sunday. This marks their third postseason appearance in 4 years. The Blue Jays are now focused on winning the AL East Division title and securing the best record in the American League. In other news, the Milwaukee Brewers have won their third straight National League Central Division title, thanks to the Chicago Cubs' loss to the Cincinnati Reds on Sunday. Despite facing numerous challenges throughout the season, including injuries to key players, the Brewers have demonstrated remarkable resilience and teamwork. We also have updates from around the league. The Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago Cubs, and Los Angeles Dodgers have all clinched playoff spots in the National League, while the Rays, Red Sox, and Guardians are still vying for a spot in the AL wildcard. That's your quick rundown for this morning. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. First, we took a culinary journey to the East Cape of Los Cabos, Mexico, where the Four Seasons Resort has introduced a quarterly tasting table series that showcases the region's freshest produce, seafood, and sustainably raised meats. This innovative event brings together the resort's 12 different dining destinations in one epic 12-course dinner. Next, we met a forestry firefighter from Alabama who traveled to fight fires out west, reminding us of the power of individual stories to inspire and educate us. Their bravery and selflessness are a shining example of the American spirit. Finally, we welcome the arrival of fall in San Diego, also known as local summer, where locals enjoy ideal surf conditions, warm weather, and a sense of community that is uniquely San Diegan. From La Jolla to Imperial Beach, the city's beaches come alive with the sound of laughter, the smell of salt water, and the sight of surfers catching waves. These stories remind us of the importance of local customs and traditions, respecting our natural world, and preserving traditional practices. As we continue our journey to the heart of America, we'll be exploring more stories like these, taking the back roads, visiting small towns, and meeting the people who make this country great. Thanks for joining us on the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. We'll see you next time. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Let's dive right into the highlights from our recent articles. First up, we've got the Brownlow Medal, which is just around the corner. And let me tell you, it's not just about the sports, it's a full-on fashion extravaganza. We're talking designers like Gretsch, Versace, and Everett pushing the boundaries of style. Our very own Heidi Marie Everett has her eyes on some amazing avant-garde pieces, from Ukrainian label Balikina and Paris-based Tamara Ralph. Next, we've got Matthew McConaughey sharing his secret to a happy marriage, ditching that king-size bed for a cozier queen-size one. Now, I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. The man's got a point about proximity being key to intimacy. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to snuggle up with Matthew McConaughey? Last but not least, we've got Vivian Wilson, Elon Musk's daughter, making waves in the fashion world. This young lady is unapologetically herself, serving looks on the runway and speaking her mind. And what I love about her is that she's not relying on her father's wealth. She's determined to make a name for herself in the industry. That's all for now, folks. Stay charming, stay fabulous, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David to Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we have an uplifting tale of friendship and adaptability from our first article, which isn't actually present in your query, but let's move on to the next two articles. Our second story takes us to Nantucket Island, where researchers are proposing a novel solution to combat Lyme disease, introducing gene-edited mice that are immune to the disease. While this approach has sparked hope, it also raises concerns about potential unintended consequences on the island's ecosystem. Lastly, we're witnessing a breathtaking natural phenomenon as millions of monarch butterflies embark on their annual migration from Mexico to the United States and Canada. This incredible journey is not only a wonder to behold, but also highlights the need for conservation efforts to protect these magnificent creatures and their habitats. That's all for today's summary. Tune in to our full podcast for in-depth discussions and interviews with experts on these topics, and join us next time on the AIDailyPress Morning Podcast. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AIDailyPress, the world's most unbiased news source.